All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's Q&A webinar. First one of this week. My name is Andrew Newman. We've got Glenn Buchanan here on the line with us today. We're going to be spending about 45 minutes with everybody answering any questions that you have related to ClickFunnels. We did have an extended holiday this weekend, so this is the first one, not yesterday, just in case some of you showed up yesterday. We do apologize for that. However, we were on a holiday there, and this will be the first call that we'll be doing. In the first few minutes of the webinar, I'd like to go over some basic stuff here about ClickFunnels. In this case, we're going to go over what the ClickFunnels dashboard looks like with relationship to a funnel. We're going to cover all of these steps on here with reference to setting this particular setup. While you queue up your questions, the questions that you answer here in the Zoom chat will be prioritized first for obvious reasons. They are a little bit easier to manage. And then if you are viewing this webinar on Facebook, you are in the comment section there and you're able to ask questions, you're welcome to do that as well. We will handle those questions too in the order that they are received. Just keep in mind, if we do not answer your question there on the Facebook chat, that it is not personal or intentional, just a little bit more tricky to manage the chat over there for the questions. But if we miss your question, just go ahead and ask that question again, and we'll be happy to pick that up and go from there. If you don't have any questions, what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead, call the webinar just a little bit short, depending on how many questions we have in the queue. So keep that in mind as we're going through the brief demonstration. Get your questions up, and we'll be happy to answer those. So basically what we have here, you should be able to see there on the screen, is a view of what a funnel looks like before you've selected any templates or added any steps or anything of that nature. So what we're going to do here is kind of go over what each of the spaces here kind of represents, what it means with relation to your funnel. So as you can see here, we have our first step. This right here on the left-hand column is going to be obviously your funnel checklist right here. If you open this up, you're going to see a couple of options that are going to give you, some step-by-step things that need to be done with this funnel to make it a complete funnel, right? So for example, we've got to choose the template for our opt-in page. We also need to choose the template for our thank you page. If we add another page in here, it will add another step to our current checklist. We'll also want to create or register a new domain for this. Obviously, domains are pretty important. Using the ClickFunnels subdomain, you can do that if you choose to, but to maintain your own branding, it's always best to have your own custom domain name. Right here, down here, obviously, where do you want to store your leads? This is going to be, are you keeping them here within our system, or are you going to send them out to, for example, another third-party autoresponder active campaign, Infusionsoft, or something of that nature. And then let everybody know that you launched your funnel once it's all completed. However, once we get back here into the steps, what you're going to notice here on the first step, these right here are going to be the individual funnel steps. Now, if I add a new page, and we call this page 1, for example, and we create that step, we're going to see this show inside of our funnel steps. Let's say, for example, we do not want this page in our funnel steps. What we do is we can actually remove this, place this into our other funnel steps as soon as, there we go, it lets me do that. Got to add a template to it. Then here on the bottom of our options, we have what we could do with this particular page. Now, in this case, we could remove it from the funnel, we can delete the step, or we can clone this step. So if we wanted to make a step that's identical to this particular page, for whatever reason that might be, we just click that clone button. We want to remove it, we could do that here. In this case, I'm going to remove this from the funnel so that we can see the functionality of the other funnel steps. So here, as you can see, there are other funnel steps now in this particular sequence. So just to kind of give you a brief overview of what you're seeing here, the pages up here that you see in these particular steps are going to be referencing the pages that you have in your funnel sequence. The pages down here in your other funnel steps are going to represent pages that are not part of your funnel sequence. So to explain what I mean, say, for example, you have an About Us page or something of that nature, maybe an earnings disclaimer if you're running an affiliate program. You wanted to store that down here because you don't want a person to sequentially land on that page by going through your sequence, the predetermined offer that you're offering through your funnel. So the next thing you're going to see here is each of these is going to be an independent funnel step. So here, as you can see down here, that's your page outside the funnel. These two are inside the funnel. When you create a product inside of a funnel step, so for example, if we add an order page, you're going to notice that when we create the product on the order page, a thank you page is automatically created and then added to our other funnel steps. What's going to happen when you do this is you're going to get a notification down here. As you can see these notifications coming in, and it's going to say your funnel's not complete, right? And you're probably like, wait, my funnel is complete. The reason why it's saying that is because you simply have a page that was created. We'll go ahead and add a product just for demonstration purposes so that you can see what happens in the thank you page area, and that will give you kind of a pre-Fusionsoft is not what we want there. Boom. Test. Don't have to get too crazy with it. We just want to create that product. And then down here, what you'll notice is that there is another page, test thank you page. This doesn't have a template associated with it. So what you'll want to do is come here and either delete the step or create the template. In order to delete it, you actually have to create the template anyway. So that's how that particular part works. Now, as we continue on through here, you'll notice here on each individual step, there's a couple of other options. We'll go ahead and use this template just for demonstration purposes. Once you've selected your template on the step, you're going to see here that you have a page. We have some more options here. This right here URL is going to be a funnel step URL that's going to go to this step right here in the funnel, not necessarily this page. It will go to this page unless you're running a split test, and it will balance the traffic based off your measurement here between the two pages. So this URL is going to act as either a forwarding URL that's going to go to this funnel step and then forward over to this page, or a split test URL that's going to go to this step and then rotate that traffic in between your variations. So to give you an idea as to what that's going to look like, you're under the variation. I'll go ahead and create that from a template, and we'll just use this one for demonstration purposes. And you'll see how this looks on your dashboard. So we can adjust our weight on that traffic to be 50-50, whatever we like. Go ahead and apply those changes. Right now, we have the majority of our traffic going toward our control and a smaller portion of that going toward our variation. What this does for us is this gives us the opportunity of split testing the traffic using this particular URL. Now, you have a URL for the page itself. So this is going to be the page. Here's the settings for this particular page. If you go into the settings here, you'll see that this is the name of the page step, and this is your path. Now, this right here is a random string of numbers that is added to the end of the URL to make it unique. So if you take a look at our path, on our URL here, we have opt-in here, as well as a string of random numbers and letters. We also have opt-in here with a random string of numbers. And then when we go over to this one, we will have the same effect. We have opt-in with a random string of numbers. That makes each of these paths unique. You can actually edit those inside of that setting, okay? This right here is going to allow you to preview this particular page. Same here with this one, and this will allow you to preview what the funnel step looks like. This is the page editor. I'm not going to go into that in the demonstration, but this actually will allow you to make the changes on that specific page. Here is the overview. This is the tab that we have selected, which gives us this particular view. Right here, we can actually delete those like we did earlier in the demonstration. Now here at the top, we're going to go into the automation. The automation allows you to have specific actions or emails go out based off of these particular steps. Now, this is an opt-in page, so we can add an email. When somebody opts in, a sequence can be created right here under this step if you do not have Actionetics. If you do have Actionetics, you can create it in either place. You can create it here or in Actionetics. Just keep in mind that if you do create an automation sequence here, this sequence is going to go out because it's not associated with the list. It's going to go out to every single person who opts into that. So if it's something that you're trying to do list segmentation with, I would recommend setting that up in Actionetics or in a third-party autoresponder. You can add text messages here and doing actions. For example, this is adding a person to a list or applying a tag or something of that nature in the action. I would encourage you to go in here and actually tinker around with these buttons, see what they do, get yourself familiarized with that. That will help quite a bit. Now, underneath our publishing tab, there's going to be a couple of options. Obviously, you can name the step. That's right here, so we could change this. Here's our path. Once again, if we wanted to create a unique path, this is going to be for the funnel step. So if we wanted our funnel step just to be opt-in, so if a person goes to our domain, says mydomain.com/opt-in, that will be the advertising URL that you would use to be able to get the forwarding effect or the rotating effect. Updating this step, that's going to be able to update the changes that we just made. Getting your Clickpop code. Now, Clickpop is the opportunity for you to take this page and offer it as a pop-up, whether it's on a page within ClickFunnels or on your personal blog, whether that's hosted with WordPress, or if you wanted to use ClickFunnels on top of any other website or anything that accepts your own code, you'd simply create your pop-up right here, and you can install that on the website, and it will overlay a ClickFunnels page, this particular step, onto wherever that's at. Click opt-in link, what this allows you to do is this allows you to send a specific link out to your list, where if they click on that link, they're automatically opted into a list. This works really well to have, for example, if you wanted to set up a double opt-in. You can send them out this link. If they click that, it actually opts them into your list. Things of that nature, whatever you'd want to use that for, you're welcome to do this. This is your WordPress plugin. This is actually the pages that you want to show up inside of WordPress when you go in there. Facebook, you can add this to your Facebook page. Of course, all of these this Facebook integration is going to require you to add the Facebook integration into your integrations tab at the top. We're not going to go in that on this particular webinar. The embed code here, what this does, this allows you to basically iframe your page, this particular page, onto any website, a lot like the Clickpop code. But the difference is this will basically show the page there instead of whatever you have selected in the click opt-in, whether it be a text or a button. Basically, it embeds a web page within a web page using this particular code. And then, of course, you could download the HTML file and you could upload this to your own servers if you have that capability through your cPanel and your FTP host. So right here, text opt-in. If you wanted to add a text opt-in, you could do that here. Get the message to go out, and this obviously will require your integration with Twilio, but that is how you collect text opt-ins on your opt-in page. Now, a couple things up here. Obviously, this is the steps. This actually shares with us this whole view here. Our statistics are going to show the stats of this particular funnel, split test pretty much everything in relation to this particular page. So what that allows us to do is be able to determine what we want to do, how much money we've earned, all that wonderful stuff. On this particular funnel, it's got all unique page views, regular page views, opt-ins, the sales on that particular page, gives you all the metrics that you need. If you wanted the individual steps on your split test here, you could do that right here, and it'll share you with that, as well as the overall steps there. So you get some pretty good detail on your statistics. You can change the dates on when you want to measure that. You can go back years, you can go back days, whatever it is, the specific date range. If you're running a campaign, you can do that here to see what your EPCs were, earnings per click on that particular campaign, or whatever your opt-ins are, whatever you're measuring on that particular process. Now, your contacts, this is a step that, pardon me. Sorry about that. Had to cough a little bit, but the contacts here is actually going to be the contacts that came in through this particular funnel. That's a little bit different than your contacts here under your funnel steps. This is going to be the contacts for your account, whereas this particular thing will show, or this particular tab will show the contacts for your funnel. You can download the contacts here, view them based off your date range there. Obviously, this particular funnel doesn't have any because we just created it about 20 minutes ago for the demonstration, but you will see any contacts that have been added through this funnel right here into this view. Sales, same thing. You're going to see the sales for this particular funnel under this tab. And then in our settings, this is where we're going to have all the individual settings for this particular funnel, which is the name of the funnel, the tag for the funnel. This is how you segment your funnels based off the category, the domain name that you're using for this particular funnel, the path that is connected to the root URL to that particular domain. I would definitely change that particular path. It's a little bit crazy, but whatever SMTP configuration that you have with your account that you're using with this particular funnel as the default, that's going to be located here. Your favicon URL, which is going to be here up at the top, that's the URL to that image, whether it's hosted here with Clickfunnels or at a third-party host. Your header tracking code, this is actually going to be tracking code that is placed on your page that is funnel wide. So Google Analytics, for example, requires a pixel on each page. You put that right here in the header tracking code. That's going to give you, as long as it's between the head tags, that's going to give you whatever data that you're looking for with that particular pixel. Same thing here with the body. This is just going to be the body tag. And again, this is going to be funnel wide. Whatever you place here is going to have an impact on every single page in your funnel. If you wanted to do it page specific, you would do that inside the page editor itself. One thing to take a look here is your share funnel URL. Whoops, scroll down a little bit. Oh, good Lord. Up we go. All right, so the share funnel URL here, if you take this URL and you share this with another person, they'll be able to take a copy of this particular funnel and place it into their ClickFunnels account. Another beautiful part about this is if you use the share funnel URL and the person does not have an account, they have the opportunity of creating their 14-day free trial, and you will earn affiliate commissions on that particular funnel. So that's a neat little trick there. This is going to be your integrations for your payment processor, particularly Stripe, BlueSnap, in this particular setting. So you'll be able to select the account there that you want to work with, as well as turn it into test mode. Here is your backpack settings. If you have a backpack set up on this is if you have the Edison suite and you wanted to run an affiliate program, you would do that here. Obviously, some basic Zapier integrations. These things are these particular zaps are the most common Zaps that people have used, and we just have some easy one-click installs for those. If you wanted to install a Zap for other things, you can actually create a Zapier account, go over there. There's a lot of integrations that you can actually perform specific actions toward using webhooks and Zapier. Here are webhooks. If you are a developer and you're interested in setting up your own customized webhooks, you can actually do that right here, as well as third-party membership access. This is things such as obviously ClickBank. If you have a PayPal that you wanted to use a product in your PayPal account and you wanted to set that up with your funnel, JVZoo, Warrior Plus, you're going to add these products right here, omitting the order page, which is a little bit different from what you might be used to. And then, of course, you can archive the funnel. Basically, that is removing the funnel from your account and archiving it. You could pull that up later if it hasn't been purged, but that's basically the same idea as deleting. And then in this case, you can save and update here. So that's pretty much the entire dashboard in a nutshell. Glenn, hopefully we got some questions here, and we'll go ahead and start fielding those.
I appreciate the overview, Drew. We have a few questions coming in about some of the material you just went over. Ben would like to start with asking, he has about 400 contacts that show up under his contact tab. What is the easiest way to move all of those contacts over to a list?
Okay, so depending on your account level, if you have Actionetics, the easiest way is to create a smart list. So what you would do is simply go into email list right here under Actionetics on the condition that you have this, and then you go ahead and add a new list and check this little box that says smart list, and then move contacts. And we'll call this a Q&A demo. We'll create the list. And then in this case right here, we'll add this to our funnel. And then we can actually go to the specific funnel. Visited step is equal to whatever funnel step that we want to add them to. And that just make that the thank you page or the confirmation page that you have in your particular funnel. And that will move every single one of those people who have visited that step over to this specific list. Now, if you do not have Actionetics, number one, it's really easy to upgrade. Number two, you can actually download that list to add them to whatever autoresponder it is that you're using. So here underneath your contacts tab, if you go ahead and click this download contacts, obviously you can go all time to pull up all the contacts. You can sort it based off of whatever time frame that you want there. Download that contacts. It's going to download a CSV report for you, and you could upload that into any autoresponder that you're working with. Ideally, that would be Actionetics, and you would create the smart list, and that will continue to pull whoever lands on that step moving forward with that. So hopefully that helps. That answers your question, Glenn. You have any feedback?
Appreciate that, Drew. We have a few follow-ups on that. Am I able to upload existing contacts to the system?
The answer is yes. You can.
Which you can do through Actionetics.
You could do that here under the contacts tab or through Actionetics. Both of them will allow you to do it. Uploading your contacts into a basic ClickFunnels account is possible, but it does not sort them like Actionetics does. It's, again, very recommended that you use Actionetics, but you can upload your contacts here as well as here underneath this tab. It's basically the same view. The only difference is there's another button that allows you to upload those contacts. You don't do it from this tab because this tab is for the specific funnel. You don't upload contacts to a funnel. You upload them to a list so that you can obviously send your campaign to them. Hopefully they'll go back through that funnel. That's the idea there. So this is taking a little bit longer to load than I would expect, but hopefully that answers your question. Maybe this will load very momentarily and we can show you the button, what that looks like.
While we're waiting for it to load, Brian also would like to know if we have a text responder capability.
Okay, so as far as text responder, I'm assuming that you mean an SMS system where you can send text messages to your subscribers. We do. The thing is with that, you are going to have to use Twilio, which is a third-party integration. You'll first need to integrate that here under your account tabs. Under your integrations, obviously, you can go to docs.clickfunnels.com and you can type in Twilio, and it'll pull up our documentation for how to integrate that. But once you've integrated it, you can actually send SMS messages either here underneath your automation tab. So as you can see, add a new SMS text. You just open this up, and you have the opportunity of, here's our messaging service, in this case, Twilio. Condition we want to do everybody. Here's the message that we want to send out. Here's the delay, obviously, if we wanted to be tomorrow or if we wanted to be an hour. We could do that. We could send that out like that. Also, another option that you have is to do that under Actionetics if you have this in your account. So just any action funnel, you can do the exact same process by simply just going in and selecting the SMS feature under your notifications. So we add our new step. Right here you have text message, and then here you can type text. We'll do that right away. And same process, you can go into the settings here, and you can actually set up your message. Now, this one doesn't have the delay on this particular step. Obviously, we set the delay here because it's ActionX. Hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you want to share anything about sending messages?
Awesome, Drew. I think that's exactly what they're looking for. We have a question from Bernard today. I have a auto reply email that goes out to people who come to my VSL page and do not purchase. Is there an option for to email people who have started but not finished the video specifically, or people who started to sign up but did not finish? Is there any way to track that?
As far as tracking it with like a specific feature, no. However, if you look at a funnel, so for example, if I have a person who, here we go, let's open this up. So let's say, for example, this is an order page, and they come to this page and they begin to fill out the form and they don't go to the next page. If they don't land on this next page, that means they didn't submit the order on that previous page. So if we set up our automation on this page to say something, for example, hey, what happened? That might work. Here on the order page, though, under automation tab, there's a couple of other options. You see where it says saw but did not purchase. Okay. In this case, we can add a new action or an email. We can add them to a list in Actionetics if we wanted to do that. We can send out an email to them and ask them what happened. Did something go wrong? Did you get a power outage? Whatever your catch is to get them to open the email. You can add that right there underneath that section. How you do that is just say, hold on. Just like so, select your SMTP configuration, and then your, particular template. And then here under condition, what you're going to do is you're going to select saw but didn't purchase. Select that template and create the email. And then there it goes. So anybody who lands on this page, they see it, but they didn't make a purchase on the condition you already have them in the system, either they've gone through the funnel or they've come in through your action funnel or your email provider, and they're using the same cookie session as they were previously. They saw the page but do not purchase the product. They don't become a customer. It'll send out this, and obviously you don't want to do it immediately. You would want to set a small delay on that so that obviously after an hour or whatnot, unless they really like your order page, I don't think they're going to hang around for an hour. But hopefully that helps answer the question. Glenn, did you have anything or other options for?
Awesome. No, you knocked that right out of the park. I appreciate that. Ed would like to know, do you need to have the Clickfunnels WordPress plugin to use the Clickpop option? What is the best practice to adding the funnel to a WordPress website when your funnel is on a subdomain of your website?
Okay. No, you don't need the WordPress plugin to use the pop-up. So Clickpop actually is, so for example, if I wanted this opt-in page to be a pop-over box, a light box on my page, what I would do is just simply go into the publishing tab. I will grab the Clickpop code here. If I want it to be an image here, I can go into my images that I currently have. Let's say I want it to be this button right here that if a person clicks on, it's going to open up this particular Clickpop. I'll copy this. Now, if I go to WordPress with this, all I need to do is put this into any custom script, text box or anything like that in my sidebar or on my page there, and it will act as a button. So that basically they'll click on that and the page will pop up over the top of it. Now, if you are using WordPress and you've already installed your ClickFunnels funnel on your subdomain, that personally for me is actually the best practice. And then using this Clickpop to get them into that funnel will be the best idea as far as my opinion goes. There, you can use the WordPress plugin as well. The WordPress plugin you wouldn't necessarily need to use your subdomain under that circumstance, but you could, using the WordPress plugin, be able to send them right over to that funnel as well. I personally would use Clickpop with that subdomain. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share about that process?
I think that's awesome. Just another caveat to using domains and subdomains with WordPress. If you decide to use the WordPress integration, then you'll have to make sure that you're utilizing a subdomain of the main domain in one of two of those places. In other words, you cannot use the root domain in both locations. Looks like we have a question from Beth today. You said you can customize URLs. Can you change it and have it still function with the funnel?
Yes, you can. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if I am, for example, if I wanted to change this particular URL here, this is going to be the funnel step URL. So if the funnel step goes to one of these two pages, let's say I want to change this URL so it's not all crazy like that, right? We're going to go ahead and we're going to make this just a regular opt-in so that I can market this particular page. And what you'll see here is this did not change because I probably have that on another path. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and call this something else. Demo 1. There we go. So this one will be a regular path on this. Now this is still going to function with this particular funnel, but the problem that you might run into is that previous URL does not function. So if you had sent that to anybody, posted that in a blog, sent it out through a solo ad or anything like that, if you change the URL, it's going to basically break the URL for your marketing. So you don't want to make changes on paths a habit. Make sure that's something that you do when you go through the funnel. Make sure your paths all look like the vanity URL that you want them to look like. If it's log into the members area, log in, or whatever it might be, and then test it. Okay, so how you test it is simply by clicking on this button over here. You could do that in an incognito. You're not going to be able to see this when I open that up. I like to test all the time in an incognito browser because it makes life easier for us. But if you right click on that and then go ahead and open that up in an incognito browser, you'll be able to see what your path looks like. You'll be able to see the behavior of that particular URL. We could change the path on the pages too. Just go right here. And voila. So you'll see that this particular page had, well, it's a preview, so it's not going to show it right, but this particular page path has been changed to 1-1. So hopefully that helps. If that answers your question, if not, I'll be happy to dive in more on that.
Awesome. Thank you, Drew. Fred would like to know, is there a way or workaround to use both Stripe and PayPal to give your customers a choice when buying a product?
Absolutely. So it's not necessarily a workaround. It's more of just how you would do it. You'll notice on a lot of websites that you can check out on their page with a credit card, or alternatively, you can click a button for PayPal. So what you would need to do, first off, is here on your order page. So basically, we're going to put that in the middle of the funnel. That's what we want. Here on the order page, what we want to do is just basically add a button, right? And this button is going to say check out with PayPal or whatever it might be. You can add that right under here, like you see it on most websites. In this case, this page is actually going to function normally, just like it would on a regular credit card. They can put their information in there, or they can get that little warm and fuzzy feeling like we all get with PayPal, right? So what we do, once we put that button there, is we want to go into our settings and we want to set up the PayPal webhook. It sounds scary, but it's not. What you want to do is just click on add the product, and then you'll set your product here inside of ClickFunnels, and then inside of PayPal, you will also need to set your product up, because once they click that PayPal button, what's going to happen is they're just going to go out to PayPal's ordering process. Now, what PayPal needs to do is tell ClickFunnels that that purchase was made to trigger any membership access or thank you pages that need to be triggered from that particular purchase, and then send them back into the funnel. Very similar to if you were to purchase a product from PayPal, you put your email address, your password, you click the button, it takes you to their thank you page, processing your order, give it a few minutes while we redirect you back. That's what your customers are going to see. What then happens here is you take this URL, and this URL right here is going to be the URL that it's your IPN, it's your instant payment notification that tells ClickFunnels and PayPal, it communicates together. You'll take that button and put that right there on the button. So hopefully that helps answer that question. You can use them both at the same time. And Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share about that?
Awesome. As Drew stated, the importance of the webhook is so that you're able to get accurate statistics, that your PayPal purchases will be able to be translated back to your account itself and then render them on the statistics page. Tim would like to know, are we limited to the number of funnels we can create in the $97 monthly plan? That is a yes. You can see the limitations of the account itself on your main funnel dashboard. And you'll see that on the right-hand side. Awesome. CN would like to know the SMTP configuration, that is SendGrid. Is that a type of option, or is that something else? See, I'm not really
SendGrid.
Sure. Go ahead.
SendGrid is an option for you to use as an SMTP server. Now, it's basically just a third-party system that sends the emails for you, right? So, for example, here we have a few that are listed: SparkPost, Send13, Amazon, Mandrill, SendGrid. So here is SendGrid. This is not affiliated with ClickFunnels, right? It's just a link out to SendGrid itself, and then it's our document actually, and then SendGrid will be basically integrated with your account here underneath your account set. There we go. Underneath your account settings, SMTP here. add an additional account. As you can see, I have SendGrid integrated and then MailTrap. But this right here is how it works. So it's third party. And yes, it is. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Woodley would like to know, do you have done-for-you funnels or autoresponder sequences?
Okay, very good question. The answer is yes. We do have done-for-you funnels. They're not necessarily done-for-you funnels that we offer through Clickfunnels, but when you go here to your funnel dashboard and you click Build a Funnel, we'll add a new one here. You'll have the option of going in. So, for example, on the left-hand side there, we'll scroll down. And let's say you're a network marketing professional and you want to build a funnel for your business to collect some leads. Here are some funnels right here. These are all basic layouts of your funnels. When you scroll down to the bottom, however, you're going to notice, let's take a live demo funnel. What we'll do here is scroll down to the bottom of this particular page, and you'll see here are some demo funnels that are laid out. Here are some from our user base. So as you can see, $47 for this one, $47 for that one. This one's $147. You can click on these. You can see what they're all about. And these are actually funnels that are done for you by people such as yourself who've created funnels and added them to the marketplace. It's also something that you can do for yourself. You can go to marketplace.clickfunnels.com and you can actually create an account there, and you can add funnels to the marketplace that will potentially show up here inside of this area when people are searching for those specific funnels in their account. If you wanted a more, what would you call it, robust or more accurate done-for-you service, marketplace.clickfunnels.com/consultants is a list of all of our certified partners who will actually go through, find your ideal client, all the wonderful stuff, and basically funnel hack your competition, helping you build a funnel that's more customized if that's what you're looking for. So hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share about that?
Awesome. And if you're looking to get your hands a little bit more dirty, we also have the Click Start program, which is one-on-one coaching, which assists you with setting up your appropriate funnel as well as finding your dream client as well. We have a question from Brian. Do I need to integrate an autoresponder like Aweber, or does Actionetics and or Backpack provide similar functionality?
Okay, so you don't need a third-party autoresponder. Actionetics does provide similar functionality. The only thing that you will need at this point that is third-party is your SMTP provider. An SMTP service is SendGrid, Amazon. What these services do is they connect through the backend, like we were demonstrating earlier, and they act as the sending person. So, for example, in the real world, if you were to send a letter to Glenn, okay, what you would do is write that out, put it in an envelope, put the stamp on it. You would go out to your mailbox and place it in your mailbox. Your mailbox at that point would wait for the mailman to come. When the mailman came and grabbed that and took that over to Glenn's mailbox, the mailman would serve, in this instance, in this demonstration, as your SMTP provider, as taking that piece of information from one place to its destination. That's what they do, and that's how they work. So very similarly to a third-party autoresponder, but it actually plugs into the back end to help make Actionetics function more effectively. There's a couple of obvious benefits that go along with that. You have a lot more control over your list because Actionetics itself isn't going to hold you accountable for canned spam compliance, things like that. That's going to be your third-party system, which could be SendGrid, it could be Send13. They're the systems that actually will hold you accountable to that. So if you do make a mistake, like I personally made mistakes, when you get your account shut down there, or if you get your account shut down, I should say, it doesn't actually impact your list. You don't have to start over again. All of your stuff is still here in Actionetics. Your lists are still there. Your sequences, your action funnels, everything's still in place. The only thing that you need to do is basically get a new mailman. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Glenn, did you have any feedback you wanted to share?
Awesome. No, I appreciate you adding on that little caveat about the intimate nature of utilizing our SMTP service, or rather Actionetics and a third-party SMTP service rather than the autoresponder. Kevin would like to know, I have a book that I want to promote. How do I go about doing that? It's a brand new book.
Okay, so that's a very good question. Setting up a funnel for it's relatively easy. Like you can go here to add a new funnel, and you can see here under author, speaker, coach, and consultant, it's going to pull up a series of different funnels here, and I believe there's a book funnel in here, if I'm not mistaken. There's potentially a book funnel, and there's a lot of funnels in here that actually give away books. I've seen them multiple times. You just have to do a little bit of research in here, and you'll find them. As far as the strategy behind it, I would reach out to our Facebook community about that. That's not something that we will be able to do here on the webinar for just obviously we can't give you advice. But reaching out to our Facebook community, you'll find a lot of people who are actually really good at launching books. Our Expert Secrets book funnel is obviously a really good one to model after. .com Secrets is another one that's a really good one to model after with the free plus shipping on the book. Things like that. But as far as advice goes, not something we're going to be able to do here. Glenn, did you want to throw anything in there?
As you stated prior, the best resource would be the Facebook community group. You can also reach out and sign up for our Clickstart program, which could assist you with building out funnels as well as strategy with that. However, with the basic support level, there isn't much we can assist with as far as strategy. Ben would like us to elaborate on getting contacts into your list if you have Actionetics via a smart list. He's already added a funnel step to have the contacts entered into a list. However, it doesn't pass the contacts.
Okay, so in that case, we would probably have to go into your account and take a look and see why the contacts are not being passed there. But to walk through the process of setting up a smart list. So for example, if I want to take a person who opts into this page, and if they go through and they order my product and they land on this thank you page that doesn't have a template, we're gonna put a template on here, just like so. So when they land on this page, I want them to be added to a list. This ideally is not the best way of doing this using a smart list, but for your demonstration, it is. Okay, so when a person goes to the funnel, they opt in here. They've already provided the email address. They're already in the system. They'll go through, they'll perform the action on this page we want them to do, in this case, the order page. Then they go here to the thank you page, and we want the smart list to trigger based on them landing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into my email lists. And I'm going to grab a random smart list, demo smart list right there. You can tell a smart list because it has that icon there. In this case, we are going to go to our smart list settings. And these are people here who have at least 1,000 Facebook followers. That's fun. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. Oh, don't need to worry about that. So what we'll do here is we'll go to our funnel and then visited step. We're going to go down to I have a lot of funnels, so bear with me while I find this one. Reason to believe it's at the very, very bottom of our.
He did also state that it does pass the contact, but it doesn't add past contacts that were added.
Okay, so it's not going to retroactively add the people who have previously visited, but it will add them who are there now. So that might be the clarity that we need to see. Where, oh my good Lord. Okay, so we're just going to randomly grab a page. If anybody actually lands on this particular page, that particular trigger will take, and then we'll actually populate this particular list with those people. Now, in the system that you currently have, if you're using Actionetics and you wanted to add the contacts from that particular funnel that are already there, what you'll do is go into that funnel. And then here underneath the contacts tab, you can actually download that list and then upload it directly to your list. So when you just go in here to Actionetics, go here to contacts. That was fast. Okay. So right here, we import our contacts. And you can download the list and then just upload them right to that particular list that you want to. When you do this, you get to select the list that you want to add them to. And then that will do the same purpose. Now, if you're having any technical issues where it's not behaving the way that you think it should, please do not hesitate to open up a support request. What we'll do is we'll actually go in there and take a look at it and see if it's set up correctly. And if it is set up correctly and it's not behaving correctly, we'll create a report for that and make sure that gets taken care of. So hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you want to share any feedback about that?
Brian says, thank you. That's very clear. Beth would like to know, where are the term, disclaimer, and private policy located? I can't find them, and I want to change the wording on a current share funnel.
Okay, so if it's on your shared funnel, odds are a couple things are happening here. Number one, now this is without me seeing it. This is just off the top of my head, first places I would look. I would scroll down here under the other funnel steps and see if those pages are here. If they're not there, what I would then do is I would go into the funnel page itself. Just for demonstration, we'll go onto this page. And then here on the actual page where the links are to those About Us pages, is I would just scroll down and see, say, for example, if this was tagged as a link right here, you can actually check that by just hovering over that. You'll see the link that's right there. Or it will be a different layout where it will be in the, hold on one second, I'll show you what it'll look like. the navigation elements. Right here. Okay. So it'll be like this, where when you open up that particular setting, there it goes. Okay, so right here, you'll see the URLs to those. So if you see it looking like this, if it's under this element that has it, the links will actually be in here, more than likely. Or if you see it just based on some text, you'll see it here. And then if it's in the text editor, you'll see it in a text editor element. When you click it, it'll open up just like this particular one did. You can edit those links there. Now, this is just off the top of my head. It could be something else. Those could be linked in any fashion, or they could not be working. So if it's not anything like this, obviously what you want to do is open up a support request. We can help you with that by going into that specific funnel and taking a look at what's going on there. Glenn, did you have any feedback or anything I might have missed?
As Drew just stated, probably the best option would be opening up a support request and allowing one of our agents to have a more in-depth look to ensure that everything is functioning properly for you. Another relation to support, Janine just asked a question: how do I verify a domain? I have 4 listed and 2 that are verified. So I must have done something right at some point. Way to go, Janine. Proud of you. The other 2 say we're unable to verify. Please contact support. So I would suggest reaching out to support itself and letting them look into what might be happening with your domains. Please do note that it can take up to 48 hours for domains to verify, and then it will take an additional 24 for your SSL certificate to verify as well. Checking to see if we have any further questions from the chat, Q&A, and Facebook. Looks like we have a question from Facebook from Christine. Do you have to have a big following for this to work?
I'm going to ask you to define this. The answer is no. You do not need to have a following to be able to build something. Everybody started somewhere, right? If you have only one person who listens to you, and that is your cat, okay? You are starting at the very bottom level of the social media platform. You don't need a following. You need to build the following, right? So you want to get into the niches or whatever it is that you're doing and go out that way. You don't need that to make this work. Obviously, there's everybody who has a following didn't have it at one point. Just kind of get some advice from some of the people who do and follow what they do and do what they do, and you'll get what they got. So hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you want to share anything on that?
If you have a specific product you're looking for insight for, I would suggest reaching out to our Facebook community group. Chances are someone has been there and tried that, and more than likely they're more than happy to assist you with some of their trials and tribulations. I'm checking our chat, Q&A, and Facebook thread. It looks like we don't have any further questions coming in. We have about 2 minutes left in this webinar. If you would like to submit a question, we'll be happy to get to it for you. Hey, Fred, I went ahead and sent you a link to the Clickfunnels official YouTube channel. The Q&A videos will be updated typically within 48 hours of the initial recording, and you'll be able to see all of our Q&As there. And that looks like it's all of our questions for today, Drew.
Outstanding. Well, everybody, we do appreciate you coming out listening to us for 45 minutes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, with the exception of yesterday due to the holiday. And we do appreciate it, as always, listening to us. It's great having you here. The questions that you ask always keep us on our toes, and that's really important. So thank you again. Glenn, did you have any closing thoughts that you wanted to share with everybody?
Just one final note. Janine has a last-minute question. She's asking, is there videos and stuff for further training? Could you quickly show on the dashboard how to access the Clickfunnels games for additional training?
So the first thing that you're going to want to do here is click on the logo here at the top left if you don't have this particular view. Okay, so you click on that logo, you'll be able to see this is actually the Clickfunnels DAT game board, right? So you just go through, you click here. Opening up that's going to give you step-by-step instructions on setting up pretty much your first funnel, going through setting up your domain name, getting your t-shirt. Obviously, everybody's got to have a t-shirt, right? So get your t-shirt, get your list set up. Going through that actually helps really familiarize yourself with the ClickFunnels system, everything that it has. Built your funnel right here, as you can see, setting up your domain. Yours will look different, obviously. I've already gone through this just to kind of get a feel for what it looks like here. But this literally walks you through step by step how to do every aspect, every element of setting up your funnel. And then right here's your final launch checklist. Make sure that everything in place before it goes live, and then share it with the world here. So that's that. You also, on the funnel steps themselves, if you were to go into whatever funnel once you've created a template. My computer's acting crazy right now, but that's okay. So if you go into the template, you'll see here at the top, you have the launch checklist. So you can actually open this up, and it's going to take you through some of the steps that you have particularly pertaining specifically to your funnel right here. So you do have this as well. So there's a couple of resources there on top of a plethora of training material that's available for you as well. It doesn't actually show on my account, but at the top of your club account, right underneath the game and in between here, I'm not cool. I don't actually get to see it, but right here are a couple of trainings, Funnel Builder Secrets being one of them. That's going to help you as well when it comes down to getting the frame, the mindset for being a funnel builder, a funnel hacker, all those kinds of things. So hopefully that helps. Glenn, did you want to throw any feedback?
I think that's absolutely awesome. And I went ahead and linked you to our knowledge base as well, Janine. If you have any further questions specifically about domains, you can search there, and there's step-by-step tutorials on how to achieve most of what you're wanting to do.
Okay, and with that, we're actually over by about 2 minutes. So with respect for everybody's time, I will go ahead and make sure to call this webinar, and then tomorrow we'll be starting at the same time. So if we didn't get to your question, or if you thought of one at the last minute, please do attend tomorrow. We'll be happy to answer that question live here on the webinar. Glenn, did you want to say goodbye to everybody?
I appreciate you all's time. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and continue to have wonderful times with your family.